Okay, so Mr. Segura, when you were here and entered your plea of guilty, I asked you some very specific questions about pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, and then pleading guilty because you actually did what they charged you with, and your answers to both of those were yes. The version, however, that of your version that I received here in the pre-sentence report is a little different. It says that you didn't have the drink until your vehicle was stopped. And so your version, if I'm to believe it, is that you stopped at the Taco Bell.
Yes, ma'am.
You drove to the Taco Bell.
I drove to the Taco Bell.
You stopped at the Taco Bell and you drank while your vehicle was stopped.
No, ma'am. I was outside the vehicle when the officer.
So you hung out at Taco Bell.
I was
and drank.
I was waiting for the line to move so I could get my food.
I asked that the defendant be sworn.
Yeah. Let's do that. Raise your right hand. You
Yes.
swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.
Okay, so you're saying that you got to Taco Bell, you drove to Taco Bell,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
I made a right turn with my signal and everything. Then I was about to park my vehicle.
Mhm.
That's where the swerve came in at. Okay, obviously it has to be. And then so,
I'm not worried about, hold on.
yes, ma'am.
All right. I want to know, when you got to Taco Bell, regardless of whatever happened,
Right.
did you go through the drive-through or
No.
did you park?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I
Listen to
parked-
my question. Did you go through the drive-through or did you park?
I parked my
Okay.
car.
So when you parked your car at Taco Bell, start having alcohol at that point?
No, ma'am. I got out of my vehicle to see how far traffic was up in front of me.
Okay.
They had several cars in front of me.
In front of you for what? You were parked.
Yeah, I was parked like,
Were you parked in a parking spot or were you
No,
parked in
ma'am.
the drive-through?
I was not exactly in the drive-thru. I was at the end of the store, at the end of the store.
Okay.
But I guess you could consider that the drive-thru line.
Were you waiting for the
I was
drive-through?
waiting for the drive-thru to
Okay,
proceed
listen,
because-
here's the thing. You're not going to try to trick me up with semantics today.
No, ma'am.
Hold on, don't talk over me.
Yes, ma'am.
When I say, were you going through the drive-through or were you parked? What does that mean? That means, did you park your car because you're going to go in the store, or were you waiting in the line to go through the
I
drive-through?
was actually waiting to go through the drive-thru.
Okay, I may look, I don't know, like I'm 12 years old and just fell off the turnip
no,
truck,
ma'am.
but I'm not.
No, ma'am. I'm
So
not.
you're in the line and you get out of your vehicle, right? Because
Yes.
there's a long line, the
Right.
cars aren't moving.
Right.
Right. So you get out and you decide, I'm going to start drinking here in the parking lot.
No, ma'am. I didn't drink until I got back inside my car.
Okay. But while you were at the Taco Bell, you started drinking. Had you drank before that?
No, ma'am.
So you're telling me that you started drinking at Taco Bell.
Yeah, I opened the container. That's how the beer came. It was on the floor.
So
of
from the
vehicle.
time that you started drinking at Taco Bell to the time that the officers got there, about how long was that?
Maybe 15 to 20, 30 minutes, whatever.
Okay. How much did you drink between that time?
I had a malt liquor. The
Mhm.
211 is a strong beer.
Mm-hmm. Just one?
It was a 40 ounce.
Right. So you drank the whole 40
I
ounces.
was drinking out of it after the fact that
You were drinking out of what?
after I stepped back in the car, I started drinking.
Right.
And
So,
then- so-
how much of it did you drink?
I consumed a lot of it,
Okay. So let's just say you drank most of
most of it.
one 40 ounce.
It was getting contained.
So that's your story and you're
I
sticking.
think,
Hold
yeah.
on. So is that your story and you're sticking with it, that you drank most of one 40 ounce beer in about 15 to 30 minutes and
Yeah.
that you hadn't drank anything before then?
No, except for that night before, about 2:00 that morning.
Okay.
And then whole alcohol stays in your blood system, added to what I drank.
Okay. So your test on this night after drinking most of a 40 ounce was 0.188. And you're wanting me to believe that that's based on most of one drink and that maybe you still had alcohol in your system from the day before.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
but what I recalling my memory, ma'am, I have no reason to try to trick you, Miss West. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Like I said, I had alcohol from the night before.
Well, how much did you drink the night before?
Well, I was intoxicated.
So what you're telling me then, if
And
you
hold-
had, hang on, so if you had that much alcohol in your system from the night before that you were still probably hold on. Watch where your story's going.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling me you had so much in your system the night before that it was going to still be in your blood, and you had just driven to the Taco Bell.
No, I drove into the Taco Bell later on that evening.
You're not right.
But it wasn't a full 24 hours.
Right. So if you're saying that 0.188 is because of the night before, then all likelihood you were drunk when you were driving from the night before, if I'm to believe your story that you only had most of one drink while you were there. See how that...
This might be one of the wildest DUI excuses ever dropped in a courtroom. Mark's source really tried to convince the judge that he only cracked open 40 ounces in a Taco Bell parking lot after he parked, just because traffic was moving too slow. My guy, that's not a legal loophole. That's a cry for help, served with a side of fire sauce.
Judgments for the defendant Mark Anthony Segura.
They were.
Yes, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. Is State's Exhibit Number 1 a fair and accurate summary of the 20 previous felony judgments that you reviewed in this case?
It is.
Using your
20 felony judgments.
20 previous prior criminal judgments, including a number of felonies.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, in other words, both misdemeanors and felonies.
Yes, sir.
And did you use the defendant's admission to at least one of the DWIs that he pled true to that had a print on its judgment to compare to the judgments here that had prints on it?
That is correct.
And what was your determination?
They're the same person.
And in addition to the prints that you used to compare and confirm his identity on these judgments, were there also some personal identifying information such as date of birth, SID numbers, and that kind of thing that you used to link to this?
Correct. As known identifiers.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I would offer State's Exhibit Number 1, which is a summary of the judgments, and the actual judgments themselves that are marked as State's Exhibits 2 through 20. For purposes of record tender to defense counsel.
Let me just ask, are there any on that list that aren't already on the pre-sentence report? I mean, why are we doing
It's been a while
both?
since I looked at the judge. I did think that there was at least a couple of those judgments. It's been a while since.
Mr. Burbank, does your client
I'm going to,
hold on? Does your client have any objection or any reason not to for me not to take the judicial notice of the PSI for sure that those prior offenses listed in there and the ones that are convictions are any way wrong?
for the misdemeanors, that's correct.
Okay, so what about for the felonies? Is there one? Are there one or more that are contest?
It's a catch-22 here.
Okay.
Because he's pled not true to them so that you'd have the full range of punishment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
So-
it's the two felonies that I think are crucial here.
All right. So then, do you have any objection to the states? Was it 1 and 2?
Judge, it's, State's 1 is a summary.
I object
And
to
then-
states 1 because I was not given the misdemeanors.
Okay. My main concern are
It's
the
felonies.
felonies. And if you have the actual judgments on those, why don't we do that way, even though it might be a little more documentation, Mr. Coleman? If you will go through primarily the felonies would be my concern.
Yes, Judge.
And
Here's where I'd like to do, Judge. I'd like to admit the summary and just the felonies as a backup, because what I want the court to refer to is the summary. I want to talk about the summary.
well, I want to talk about, I mean, I've got the pre-sentence report. So I need to know if there's something in the summary that's not in this report. That's what I'm kind of used to looking at. I've already made my notes on it. I've got highlights. So if there's something that's not on that already, let me know. If there is, then obviously I will know are that there are 19 misdemeanor convictions on the pre-sentence report and that I've got 8 felony convictions.
I think, I don't have 8, Judge. I think that there's at least one of them that was refused. If you refer to the PSI, that first one, that burglary, looks like it was refused.
Stop, don't let us figure it out.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I show with convictions on the PSI, I've got a 91 possession of a controlled substance. There was a probation that was revoked for 5 TDC. Got a 96 manufacturing delivery of a controlled substance, 1 year jail. I've got a 03 possession of a controlled substance, 18 months state jail.
I have that.
I've got an 03 from April manufacturer delivery with 6 months state jail. I've got a January of 15 obstruction or retaliation, 2 TDC. Got at the same date a harassment of a public servant, 2 TDC. I've got a driving while intoxicated, 3rd or more, offense date of 11 of 15, 3 TDC. And then I've got an 18 obstruction retaliation with 5 TDC. That totals 8 felony convictions.
That's more than what I had in my summary, Judge.
So are there then, I need at least whatever you have, because he has pled not true to the ones alleged in the indictment, which, let me pull that up.
Yes, Judge.
There's states 5.
May I elaborate?
He needs to
Give him a
review his
second.
documentation.
The
So,
document's right there, state.
Hey, Mr. Burbank,
sorry,
you
Judge.
asked a question. Let him answer the question.
I
Calm down.
would.
He's on it, I'm sure. Mr. Robinson?
yes, ma'am. So what I did is I took a known that he had pled true to. I used the fingerprint off.
Let's set the record straight. This isn't a first-time slip-up. The fingerprint expert just revealed the truth. Soar has 20 prior convictions, including several felonies. This isn't one bad night, it's a long-running pattern. His past isn't behind him, it's chained to him, pulling him into the present like a criminal anchor.
On the evidence that has been included in the PSI, as well as States Exhibit 2, 6, and 7, I'm going to find that the prior criminal offense felony in cause number 15-23847, which is number 15 in the state's enhancement, is true. I am also going to find State's Exhibit number 6, which is clause number 15-22572, which is number 14 in the state's notice of enhancement, make a finding that that is true. In addition, State 7, which is clause number 18-30235, which is number 16 in state's notice of enhancement, I am also going to make the finding that that is true. So that are those 3 prior felony offenses. I have made findings of true. I am taking into consideration all of the other ones, with the exception of states number 5, which has not been introduced, but that was, we discussed, which is clause number 60328. I am going to make.
The judge has officially locked in 3 felony convictions for enhancement, instantly shifting this case from a routine DUI to a 25 to life nightmare. And when she adds that every other conviction will be taken into account, that isn't just legal, it's lethal. She's setting the stage for the final strike.
Judge, please, ma'am. I'm asking for mercy, for forgiveness to begin with. I'm not a bad person. Ms. West, I completed high school. I had 1 semester in college for auto mechanics. I've served for the community. I worked all my life. The kids was out playing.
Where have you worked?
I worked for Little and Willis when I was a kid at the age 15. After that, I graduated and I continued working. I've been working in the plant for over 30 to 40 years. All my life I've been working.
How many years?
Business scouts and all different types of jobs all over.
Mark,
Yeah.
how many years did you serve in prison? How many years have you been in prison?
First of all,
How many years have you been in prison?
all together with everything, I done did over 10 years.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 58 years old.
58 years old, and for 10 years, you've been in prison in DWIs and other things. So what mercy are you asking for from this court when you have 19 misdemeanors and 6 or 7 felonies. Why should she consider something less? I mean, give her a reason why.
Ms. West,
What's changed?
I didn't do half of the things that they say I did.
Mark, you pled guilty to them, okay? That's
Yeah.
over with, right? The day for you, in reference to court, the day for you to say, I didn't do this is over. You accepted a plea, okay? I mean, let's cut to the chase here,
Yes.
because she could find the allegations, well, she did, the true and under consideration, and it's 25 to life,
Yes.
okay? And I guess the most you've had up until this point is 5 years, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's go first to when you were arrested. Were you working?
I'm receiving disability. I can't work no more.
Okay, what is your disability?
I got rheumatoid arthritis. I got prostate problems. My heart is bad.
Are you on disability?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when were you placed on disability?
And like 2020.
Okay, so 2020 you're on disability. So while you're on disability, why are you drinking beer 40 ounces at a time? Or drinking the night before to where you're tired?
There's no
Explain
excuse.
to me.
I just lost my brother. I lost my mother and my father. And the alcohol just don't bring it. They're not gonna break me.
Okay, so you have a problem.
I have a problem.
One of the things we talked about was, when you came to me, was that you never went into a program.
Never.
You never went into a drug program?
I never had a chance on probation and nothing.
Well, you got.
Well, what
revoked
about
on
when you
probation.
weren't on probation? What about the times when you weren't in prison and you knew you had a problem and you wanted to stay out of prison?
Yeah, well, I got a device since I've been home.
What do you?
No, what? That's
Look.
since since
Oh,
you've
yes,
been in.
ma'am. I tried.
I'm talking about the rest of your life. I'm talking about the times that you got
Yes, ma'am.
arrested 43 times for public intoxication, 39 traffic offenses, 17 times you didn't appear in court, 5 disorderly conducts, 4 open containers. I mean, these are the ones that aren't even listed on the pages.
Yes, ma'am.
Pages.
Miss West. They have 5 different other marks here.
Okay, so you're gonna
In the
stick with
system.
that this isn't you.
No, ma'am. I'm not making no excuses. I have very much high respect for the
Well,
officer
but-
of the law.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
really? You
yes,
do?
ma'am, I do.
So that's the 19 misdemeanors, the assaults, the terroristic threats, the
I-
trespassings, the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your 5th DWI.
This is where it lands heavy. Soar pleads for mercy. He talks about losing his family, about working since he was 15, about heart problems and living on disability. And for a moment, you feel it. But then the prosecutor cuts straight through. You never joined a program. You never tried to change. It's hard to ask for sympathy when you've had decades to turn things around, and never did.
Starting with the beginning of this hearing, when we were going through the just the nature of the offense.
Yes.
Starting there, we went down the wrong path. It makes no sense. I don't believe it. It doesn't add up to what your blood alcohol level was. How you say what happened that night doesn't line up. It just doesn't. I get that 40 ounces is a big beer, but if you've been an alcoholic for as long as you're talking about, that's not going to get your blood alcohol to what it was that night, which was almost a 0.2. It was a 0.188. And I have already found those 3 prior offenses true. Those are all felony offenses from different conviction dates. I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of driving while intoxicated, 3rd or more. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. In my opinion, you're lucky that Mr. Coleman asked for 25, because I'm not sure that you really even deserve that with your criminal history and with how you have refused to accept real responsibility. You will receive credit on this sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive on this case. I'm going to hand you the trial court certification. This was not an agreement. You do have some rights to appeal. You can talk to Mr. Burbank about that. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can also talk to Mr. Burbank.
The judge's closing words cut deep. She rejects the Taco Bell tale, sees no real accountability, and makes it clear he doesn't deserve the minimum, yet still grants it. You're lucky he only asked for 25. That's the line. You can't throw away your life and then expect the court to erase it. Actions have consequences, and this courtroom is finished listening to excuses.